What's up, everybody? Long time no see. It's that time of year. It's summertime. I've been a little bit busy. Again, no excuses. I know, but it's true. Been that full-time job, a little bit of traveling. Been organizing myself for a big life change that's about to come up. I'll tell you guys about that later. But it's just been busy. But nonetheless, I haven't forgot about you. So, hello, happy summer, good afternoon, good morning. Not sure when I'm going to post this, but either way, or wherever part of the world you're in, hello, salutations. I've missed you guys. But I wanted to pop on here and say hello because I recently had something happen. Something I should have done a long time ago. And I wanted to let you guys in on how that went. Okay, so 2 years ago, I know, that's crazy, that long ago. 2 years ago, I tried to go to a spine specialist here in Charlotte where I live. And by the time I got there, I was all set up, ready to go. I was excited, needed to check in with this condition. It's important that you maintain with a professional what's going on and everything's okay. Get there with the appointment, find out my insurance has expired. And I just wasn't in position to pay 7 times the amount that it would have cost. As important as the appointment was to me, I just wasn't prepared to spend that money in that moment. So we left. And then I moved to New York for 2 years. So I didn't get to it. I come back, time goes by, and it had been so long I forgot who the doctor was. Now that's critical because this doctor came recommended to me as one of the best scoliosis specialists in the state. So I really wanted to see him. Finally found him. Through proper due diligence and a lot of research, I finally found out who he was because he came recommended. So set up an appointment. It was like a month out. I was just like, oh my God, I'm waiting so long for this doctor. But of course, he's very in high demand. So finally get the appointment. And so I finally got to see this doctor yesterday. I had 3 main questions going in because I'm not in any pain. I'm not worried about anything that much. So 3 main questions was, it's been probably at least 6 years since I got my last x-ray, if not longer. So I wanted to see A, had it gotten any worse? B, is what I'm doing, aka lifting, okay? And C, what should I expect in the future going forward? As in, how much worse can I expect it to get through every decade of my life? So I got an updated x-ray, and I'm going to put them up, bam, bam, right here, first and second. As you can see with them side by side, they are not that different. Now here's the issue. That old x-ray is so old that there is no way to tell exactly what the degree is. So I had the doctor put them side by side, and by the naked eye, he was able to determine that it hadn't been that drastic of a change. But that aside, that's just based off of him just looking at them side by side. So for any of you who are curious on what my actual curve degree is now, it is at 32 degrees. And so any of you out there who have been to a doctor and found out based on the scale of what is moderate to minimal to severe, I'm right around the moderate level. So anything below like 20 is really just not much to worry about. Anything around 25 to 35 to 38 is on moderate. Anything above 40 is when it starts to get into more severe cases. So what I found out was, A, over the course of 8+ years, it probably hasn't gotten more than a degree. And that was back when I was an adolescent, so that's when I was still growing. So that might have been part of it anyway, and to be expected. But based on what he saw and based on what I determined, is it looks like it hadn't really gotten any worse. Second of all, I said, okay, I work out, I lift, I squat, I deadlift. Based on what this curvature is and based on what you're seeing and your expertise, is this okay? And he said, you're fine. Why? Because you're not in any pain. Nothing you're doing is causing you any discomfort, and you doesn't look like anything is at a point where you could really make it any worse by doing what you're doing. As long as you're being smart about it, which is where all my research and all the extra stuff I put in with stretching and balancing and core strengthening comes in. So that's okay. Third and finally, I said, Doc, biggest question I have is going forward, being an avid lifter and someone who's active, and based on the angle I have at 27 years of age, what should I expect going forward? He said, at the moderate level where you're at, you should be good. All the way through your 30s, 40s, and probably 50s. Getting to that more senior level of life around the 60s is where you might, and he said because of your moderate level, it's not even for sure, you might start to see maybe a quarter of a degree a year, if that. So maybe a degree every 4 to 5 years. But when you get older, you shrink anyway. So that was kind of expected. So based on what I got, to update y'all, and really an update for myself, based on what I got out of this whole thing, was I'm at a moderate level curve, which is still something to be cognizant of and something that is there, is noticeable, and has to be paid attention to. But it hasn't gotten any worse since I first discovered it a decade ago, apparently. Second of all, everything I've been doing so far is fine. Why? Because I'm not in any discomfort. I've preached to you in so many of the videos. I'm very careful and very cognizant of what I have and my limitations. And if you stick within your boundaries, you should be okay. And finally, based on my condition, it looks like I got another 30 years before I even should see anything get any worse, which is great. So I just wanted to catch you guys up on that because that was a really big moment that I've been waiting to see this doctor for literally 2.5 years. So it was big for me to finally see this doctor and to actually get some updated information, get an updated x-ray as you saw to see what my spine was looking like, because I haven't, the biggest issue I have based on that curve in the lumbar is my hips are uneven, so my left hip flexor gets tight sometimes, and I put extra pressure on that knee, but it's just about being aware and making and doing my proper stretches, and when it starts to get tight, just realize I got to do some foam rolling, got to do some stretching, and usually pain stimulating from one spot is from another. So I remember when this knee pain first flared up, I was thinking to myself, oh my God, my knee is ruined, but really my hip was getting too tight. Stretch out the hip, the knee just magically was better. So just being aware of what you have and what you got going on. So I just wanted to catch you guys up on that because that was big for me, and I thought that was important to share with you guys what I had going on. I also wanted to show you guys a little something, squeeze into my dark bathroom here. I went ahead and put on a Under Armour shirt, and I wanted to show you guys the difference where if I'm standing, normal here, you can't see my back. But then on the other side, you can. You see it sticking out on the backside there. So if any of you were ever curious what part of me, if any of you were ever curious about what can be visually seen from me based on my scoliosis, is my rib cages are not even because of the upper part of my curve. So I do have a rib cage that sticks out farther. So if you see me standing from a profile, you can see it sticking out. Kind of sucks. But hey, you know what? You learn to embrace it because if you build some muscle around it, it's less and less noticeable unless you're someone who is looking out for it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you all so much for subscribing. The channel is just growing and I need to put more focus onto you all and pay attention because you all are wonderful, amazing people who are doing the best with your lives despite your limitations. That's what I like to hear. So I'll check in with you guys next time. Stay strong, stay healthy, stay pain-free, and as always, stay smart. I'll see you guys next video.